So we're going to show you how to get your autoclave chamber ready for cleaning. First thing I want to caution you, these are all made of stainless steel. We don't want to ever use any steel brushes or steel wool. The most abrasive thing that I would use in there is a Scotch-Brite pad or a sponge. A lot of times you get the sponge with the Scotch-Brite pad on the back side of it, but that's the most abrasive thing that I would use inside the chamber. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to remove the tray rack. This is spring loaded, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab both edges and just pull it together. You see as we squeeze the top of it, comes out of the chamber. We'll set that aside, and you see we have some discoloration in the bottom of the chamber. A lot of that's water staining and just debris. Again, we'll get our Scotch-Brite pad, we'll get it nice and wet. We use a powdered cleanser. This is the only powdered cleanser that is recommended by the manufacturers other than their own brand. So it's readily available. If you want to talk to me after the presentation, I can give you the brand name of it. But sprinkle a little bit of powdered cleanser in there. Make sure you use your wet, nicely wettened Scotch-Brite pad and just scrub the chamber. When it's all done, then you're going to get a fresh, wet, damp sponge and make sure you wipe all the chemical residue out of there. And again, clean the sponge, rinse it, and wipe it again. You want to make sure that we don't leave any chemical residue from the powdered cleanser in here because we don't want to get it back into the water supply that you're going to use to sterilize with. When that's all done, you're going to squeeze your tray rack back together. And it gets inserted back into the chamber. At the same time, the other thing we do is you want to drain your reservoir water. Okay, so on this model, what we're going to use to drain the reservoir water, the reservoir water is reused over and over. You lose some to evaporation and some to steam loss. But what you want to do is you want to drain this reservoir water about once a month. So it's filled here, it's used in your sterilizer, it's recondensed back into a liquid, put back in here. About once a month you want to change that water out, put fresh water in. So to do that, there's a drain valve on the front of the unit. You come over to the drain valve here, and all you're going to do is unscrew it until you get water flow. That water flow is going to drain out of there, and once it stops draining, you can close it up. What I'm going to show you also is that there's a couple O-rings in here. This can unscrew actually completely. And there's the two O-rings. This one here and this one here. And those are what seal your water off from draining out the front of your autoclave. So if you have a leak here dripping out the front, a lot of times it's these O-rings have gotten either compromised or bad, or there might be debris coming out of the reservoir water. So if that's good and we've drained it to stop the flow or to close it off, we just put this back in, screw it up till it tightens. If you notice that the end of this fitting has barbs on it, so it allows for a tube. The tube can be drained off to a trash can or a sink. The autoclave can be placed over a sink, so you can drain into a sink if it's convenient. But this is one way of draining the water out of this particular brand. Once you've drained it, you want to flush the reservoir. And to flush the reservoir, you can get straight tap water, pour tap water in, make sure you rinse any debris out of there. And again, do your drain cycle. So you rinse that tap water out of there and drain it. And obviously you would let this drain until the water flow stops. Your reservoir is empty then you can close this back up, seal it, and refill it with distilled water, and then you got fresh water again. This should be done about once a month. Obviously there's other manufacturers out there. Some manufacturers have a drain tube that you pull off the clips, and once you pull it and lower the drain tube down, your reservoir will drain. So, but this was an example. We just wanted to show you how to drain your reservoir and put fresh water back into it.